too good actually to be spent indoors. It's better to be spent outdoors because the sun is shining, there's a little bit of cloud cover. But if you had to spend it indoors, I can't think of a better place than the Opera House and also in better company. And that stands for me, क्योंकि आपकी company बहुत अच्छी है. Having said that, we have someone very special who will be gracing us with his presence, and we know this weekend we're looking forward to his concert as well. We have a magical voice that has just landed in Sydney, और उनको सुनने के लिए बहुत लोग बेसब्री से इंतजार कर रहे थे. I think what better place than to host such a big artist than the Opera House itself. ये श्रेय, this benefit, this opportunity and privilege cannot be given to a better artist, and the same for the Opera House itself to be able to gracing such a great artist. पंकज जी के बारे में जितना भी कहा जाए वो कम है, because as all of you know, there is a little website called Wikipedia. जो information है वो सब आप वहाँ पे देख सकते हैं. He's done over 50 albums. He's got the Padma Shri. He's worked for cancer patients. He's done a lot of philanthropic work. मगर आज जो मौका हमें मिल रहा है, why that is so special is because we're getting a one-on-one. तो आप सब लोगों से दरख्वास्त भी है, मेरी इल्तिजा है कि आप कुछ ऐसे सवाल पूछें, that other people don't get the opportunity to ask. I would say we should refrain from questions like Sydney आए कैसा लग रहा है. लग तो बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा होगा because it's a beautiful city. It's an amazing city. But what we would like to know are things that touch the heart of a poet, the things that matter to the soul of a singer. ये सब चीज़ें हैं that other people will never get to know. और यही हम चाहेंगे कि आप इन gems को तराश के बाहर निकालें और लोगों तक पहुंचाएं, ताकि उनको पता चले कि इस कलाकार, इस फनकार और इस इंसान की गहराई कितनी है और कितनी नशीली है और कितनी खूबसूरत है. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Pankaj makes his way here, we would love to greet him with a round of applause. मैं तो उनके लिए गाना भी चाहूँगा, but I'm going to refrain from doing that. Any one of you who wants to, I would also say we have to adhere to certain Sydney Opera House protocols. So, no handshakes. We need to keep a safe distance as well. They're still operating under COVID restrictions. Apart from that, I think it's no holds barred, and I think we have a great opportunity today. So, ladies and gentlemen, very shortly, I'd like to invite the Pankaj ji himself and, of course, the promoter of this show, the Lodia brothers, and specifically Akash Lodia. As they say in military terms, मैं कहना चाहूँगा the voice has landed. तो चलिए, इनका तारुफ तो करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. जितना मैंने कह दिया मेरे ख्याल से वही काफ़ी है. I think if I were in your position, I would love to maximize my time with Pankaj ji. तो इसलिए, without further ado, I'll kick this off and I'll start the first set of questions for the interaction with Pankaj ji. And then afterwards, you can continue from there. मैं चाहूँगा कि आप में से जो भी सवाल पूछना चाहे, हाथ खड़ा कर लें, and then we'll go one by one. And of course, afterwards, we'll also have a one-on-one interview, so we can save some of the more private questions out there. So I think I'll kick this off. Pankaj ji, first of all, please welcome, a very, very warm welcome to Sydney. पिछले कुछ दिनों से बारिश चल रही थी. आपके आने से मेरे ख्याल से सूरज वापस आ गई है. But people have been waiting very anxiously for you to come and sing.
Thank you.
I think पहला सवाल यही है कि सिडनी में there are many other places जहाँ पे आप perform कर सकते हैं, जहाँ पे capacity भी ज़्यादा होगी, and of course revenue भी ज़्यादा होगा. But what made you, with Akash, choose the Opera House?
Well, it's a long story, but to tell you very very shortly, मेरी संगीत का ये जो सफ़र है, ये जर्नी है, उसमें कुछ ऐसे दिलचस्प मकाम आए हैं. देयर हैव बीन सम वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग stages in my career, and now when I look back, उस वक्त तो उस बात का एहसास नहीं था मुझे, लेकिन अब जब मैं पीछे मुड़ के देखता हूँ तो मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि probably destiny had planned it accordingly कि भाई ये जो साहब हैं ये इस तरह से he is going to move on with his career. Very early in my life, um, very early in my career, my first album was in 1980 or 1984 में I performed at the Albert Hall in London, and which was a sold out concert. And then धीरे धीरे ये जो सिलसिला है वो आगे बढ़ता गया. And then I performed at the Madison Square Garden in New York. और उससे आगे बढ़ते हुए then I performed at the Carnegie in New York. वहाँ से आगे बढ़ते हुए I performed at the Shrine in Los Angeles, and फिर विश्व के बहुत सारे इस दुनिया के बहुत सारे ऐसे वेन्यूज़ हैं कि जहाँ हर कोई फनकार जो है उसकी ख्वाहिश होती है कि मैं उस वेन्यू में परफॉर्म करूं. तो उन सब वेन्यू में कॉन्सर्ट्स होते रहे. पता नहीं क्यों, लेकिन ओपेरा हाउस के बारे में ख्याल कभी आया ज़रूर, लेकिन फिर वो वही बात थी कि कौन ये करेगा और कौन इतनी सारी मेहनत करेगा. तो 2019 में मैं आया था ऑस्ट्रेलिया. आई हैड कम टू ऑस्ट्रेलिया एंड आई हैड डन कॉन्सर्ट्स. एंड तो आकाश को मैं तब से जानता हूँ जब वो व्हेन ही वाज अ यंग किड, छोटी उम्र के थे बहुत, तब से जानता हूँ मैं उनको, क्योंकि आकाश के जो पिता थे वो मेरे बहुत अच्छे दोस्त थे. और Himmat Lodhia was his name. So Himmat was a friend of mine for one simple reason that we were both connected with music, क्योंकि हिम्मत को म्यूजिक का बहुत ज़बरदस्त शौक था. And Himmat used to live in Fiji, not in Australia. हिम्मत ने मुझे दावत दी थी और 1984 में मुझे फिजी बुलाया था प्रोग्राम के लिए. तो आई वेंट टू फिजी टू डू कॉन्सर्ट. उस वक्त मेरे ख्याल से आकाश बहुत छोटे, ही वाज वेरी यंग, लेकिन तब से वो मेरा म्यूज़िक सुन रहे थे. तो 2019 में आकाश से मेरी बराबर मुलाकात होती रहती थी जब भी मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया आता था, बिकॉज हिम्मत अनफॉर्चुनेटली passed away, and then our relationship continued, Akash and his brother Akshay and the family. तो 2019 में आकाश ने मुझे कहा कि पंकज अंकल, हैव यू एवर थॉट कि आपने दुनिया के इतने सारे जिसको कहें कि आइकॉनिक वेन्यूज़ हैं वहाँ परफॉर्म किया है, लेकिन वाई नॉट सिडनी ओपेरा हाउस. तो मैंने कहा खैर आकाश, आपका सवाल बहुत लाजमी है. इट डज मेक अ लॉट ऑफ सेंस, बट द ओनली थिंग इज़ दैट I cannot do it because I have so many commitments and I have so many other events. And so I said the only way that we can do it, I said, is that. So in between he butted in and he says, will it be okay if I do it? And mind you, Akash is not a professional organizer or anything. I mean, he's not a promoter. He's just crazy about music. He's I would say passionate about music. And Akash is a very sought after lawyer actually. He's an advocate. So I told him, I said, भाई तुम्हारी वकालत छोड़ के तुम कहाँ ये करोगे? तो ही सेड नहीं, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि ये मुझे बस बोले मेरी ख्वाहिश है, बोले मेरे पिताजी की ख्वाहिश थी और मेरी ख्वाहिश है कि लेट्स डू दिस. सो आई सेड ठीक है, चलिए करते हैं. And then unfortunately, as we know that we all were struck by the pandemic, and then Opera House went for renovation and things like that. तो 2019 से ये स्टॉल होता रहा और आखिर में, but I have to give it to Akash and his brother Akshay, both of them, that their passion, that they did not stop pursuing Opera House even for a day. They said, no, we must do this concert.
अब देखिए पंकज जी ने जो कहा इट्स सो अप्रोप्रिएट. आई थिंक म्यूजिक आपको जज्बा देता है एंड स्पेशली आई टेक अ वर्ड आउट फ्रॉम देयर फैमिली विच इज़ इनके पिताजी का नाम मद्देनज़र रखते हुए वो आपको हिम्मत भी देता है कि चाहे जो भी ऑब्स्टिकल्स आएँ आप उसको क्रॉस करते जाएं. एक ख्वाब जो होता है म्यूजिकल ख्वाब होता है उसको रियलाइज़ करने का. एंड पंकज जी, ऑल आई कैन से इज़ दैट the Opera House has a multi-million dollar renovation that has taken place.
Yes, I've been told, I've seen the photographs, and it's looking absolutely fantastic, majestic.
And we
Yes.
are privileged
Thank
कि
you.
after the renovations, the voice that will grace the main hall will be yours. Thank you
That's,
so much, sir.
God is very kind, and I think it's all your good wishes that I am able to do that. Yes.
जी.
Thank you.
Now, of course, I'm going to throw the questions open to all of you. I think we have been given a glimpse of what it has taken to get this great artist to such a great location and the promoter who did it all. So please, take it away.
Before they start their questions, I want to share something very, very special, very close to my heart. And it is something that I feel that I have to share it today only. Initially, I thought that I would share it on the day of the concert, but I think that I should say it today. This particular concert is a tribute to Himmat, obviously, because Himmat was the person who his soul is still behind this. I mean, he's guiding us, his spirit is guiding us. So this concert I am certainly dedicating to Himmat. And the other person whom I was fortunate to know very well, whom I was very close to. And I have started writing about my life, my memoirs, and hopefully I will launch my life story by later part of 23. And I look forward that we do a function here and I can come and launch the book here in probably in the same venue maybe. When I was growing up, when I was about 5, 6 years old, that was an era when radio was the only source of entertainment. We could listen to music only on radio because there was nothing else. There was no television, there was absolutely nothing. Only a very few percentage of the society could enjoy a personal record player or something like that. Otherwise, radio was the only source of music. So, my whole family, as you know, were all great music lovers. My 2 elder brothers are very well-known singers also, Udhas and Udhas. So from morning the radio used to be on, and there was one voice which used to literally attract me like a magnet, which was Lata Mangeshkar. And I used to listen to her, and then I used to memorize her songs. And then I used to go to school, and in my school assembly, I used to sing her songs. And I used to get tremendous amount of applause and response. सो एक तरह से देखा जाए तो प्रत्यक्ष रूप से शायद लता जी से मैंने तालीम नहीं ली, बट इनडायरेक्टली, प्रत्योक्ष जिसको कहते हैं कि इनडायरेक्टली, आई वॉज लर्निंग म्यूजिक फ्रॉम हर एवरी सिंगल डे. So by the time I was 11 years old, I sang "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo," the famous song, on stage in front of 5,000 people, and I was just about 11 years old. And that day, people just came and, they showered so much of blessings on me, and they said, "You sang beautifully," and things like that. And that gave me so much of confidence to become a singer. So जिसको कहते हैं कि मैंने मन ही मन उनको अपना गुरु मान लिया. No doubt later on in my life, I learned classical music from Master Navrang, who was my guru. But she remained my guru forever. I'm so fortunate that I got to meet her, and my family and her family, we developed a relationship, and I kept on meeting her before I became Pankaj Udhas or the singer or whatever it is. And she had a very special place for me in her heart. Later on, can you imagine that a person who would not think in his wildest dreams of even standing next to her, I got an opportunity to sing duets with her in films. And today is, in Maharashtra, we celebrate Ganpati, as we call it, 10 days of Ganpati festival. So today is the second day of Ganpati. It started yesterday. Every single year, she would invite us, my whole family, my wife, my two daughters. We all would go there. She generally would not meet many people, but she would make it a point. She would take us to her room, make us sit there and chat with us, and we would be chatting at least for an hour. This is the first Ganpati that, unfortunately, we don't have her with us. I mean, her presence is not there. So I feel, and then when we look back, when we take the Opera House record, I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was the first person to come and sing here, perform here. And then, no doubt, followed by Asha ji and then Jagjit Singh ji. So I personally feel that, yes, I would certainly like to say that this is a concert which I would like to dedicate to the lady Bharat Ratna Lata ji, because I feel that someone who has guided me all through my career, and today she's not there, but we miss her. So the same platform, the same auditorium, the same venue, I'm looking forward to that, yes.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, any questions?
Can I ask something?
Ji,
Pankaj, my name is Rekha Rajvanshi. I'm a ghazal writer.
ji.
So what I wanted to ask you, is the ghazal a dying art form, particularly in the films? In pop and all these, street music and
Ji.
hip hop, whatever, different types of Punjabi has become a part of these songs. What do you think? What is the future of ghazals?
Well, you have a very good question, and uh, we do one ghazal festival every year in Mumbai to raise funds for, as Karthik was mentioning, for cancer patients and thalassemia children. We raise funds for these patients, and we've been doing this for the last 21 years. And it's a very, very successful festival. So this year, we dedicated Khazana Ghazal Festival to Lata Mangeshkar for her contribution in popularizing a ghazal to the mainstream audience, the masses, through cinema. As you recall, all her ghazals in cinema, यूं हसरतों के दाग मोहब्बत में धूली है या आपकी नज़रों ने समझा प्यार के काबिल मुझे. So all those songs, ghazals, all the ghazals which she sang in movies, they carried a ghazal across to very large audience. Unfortunately, today what has happened that the kind of cinema which is being made, the entire approach to music has changed completely. And because of that, the music composers, the producers, the directors are not really focusing on the right kind of poetry. And that is one of the reasons why. Because see, we have to accept one fact that in India, Bollywood, even today, is the most famous and most popular medium of entertainment. So, Bollywood, you have to accept the fact that Bollywood is an integral part of Indian entertainment society. So, we hope that someone or some producer, some director brings that era back. Because if you recall, even till a few years back, when I sang ghazal numa geet like Jiye to Jiye Kaise Bina Aapke, yeah, I sang a nazam like Chitti Aayi Hai Watan Se Chitti Aayi Hai. They became iconic songs. They became songs which are, even today, they are heard, they are requested on stage. So basically, I feel that film is one of the best possible medium to reach out to people. But unfortunately, we have lost that medium. गज़ल अपनी जगह पे है, गज़ल में कोई तब्दीली नहीं आई है, गज़ल उसी जगह पे है, अपनी जगह पे है. तो मैं समझता हूँ कि गज़ल को अब कैसे और आगे पहुँचाए. एक मेरा खुद का अपना यूट्यूब चैनल है, पंकज उदास यूट्यूब चैनल. तो मैं अभी जब वापस जाऊँगा तो आई एम री-लॉन्चिंग दैट चैनल. और उस चैनल में मेरी कोशिश ये है कि दैट चैनल वुड बी कम्प्लीटली गज़ल सेंट्रिक, और उसमें हम गज़लें, सूफ़ी, कव्वाली, ये सारे जॉनर जो हैं संगीत के, उस पे फोकस करेंगे और उसको हम लोग पॉपुलराइज करने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे. जी जी, थैंक यू. हाँ जी जी. जी. Yes. जी. मैं मेरे हिसाब से संगीत में कोई ऐसी बात है, कोई एक ऐसा जादू है कि जो इंसान को कभी इतना ज़्यादा भावुक बना देता है, इतना ज़्यादा इमोशनल बना देता है कि इंसान उस वक्त सोचता नहीं है कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. आपने जिस बात का जिक्र किया, ये बातें आज भी होती हैं. अभी पिछले साल हम सब जानते हैं कि कोविड का वक्त है, और तो भारत सरकार की ओर से देयर वाज वन इनिशिएटिव कॉल हुनर हाट. तो हुनर हाट में दे वर कलेक्टिंग ऑल द आर्टिसंस एंड वेरियस आर्टिफैक्ट्स बनाने वाले और बहुत सारे लोग. तो एक बहुत बड़ा अच्छा सा एक कॉन्सेप्ट था. तो उसमें हर शाम एंटरटेनमेंट होता था। तो मैंने हुनर हाट के बैनर के नीचे कोई मेरे ख्याल से पिछले 1 साल में 10, 12, 14 कॉन्सर्ट किए होंगे। और हर बार मेरी ये हालत होती थी कि आपको भी जान के ये शायद ताजुब होगा कि गज़ल के कॉन्सर्ट में किस जगह पे 20,000 लोग हैं, कोई जगह पे 25,000 लोग हैं, कोई जगह पे 7,000 लोग हैं, कहीं 12,000 लोग हैं। और वो लोग, उनका ये आलम होता था कि सही में मुझे उठा के गाड़ी में बिठाना पड़ता था, क्योंकि वो दे वर रेडी टू पाउंस ऑन मी, दे वुड वांट टू डू एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग।
यहाँ 10,000 तो होंगे ही नहीं,
जी
लेकिन आपको ट्रीटमेंट वही मिलेगा जो
नहीं, आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू दैट। और मैं समझता हूँ कि यही एक कलाकार, मैं तो यही कहना चाहूँगा कि आई एम ब्लेस्ड कि कलाकार पे ईश्वर की कृपा होती है कि इतना ज़्यादा कलाकार को प्यार मिले। और मैं विदाउट एनी एक्सेप्शन, दुनिया का हर कलाकार जो है वो प्यार का भूखा होता है, उसको और कुछ नहीं चाहिए सही में। क्योंकि कलाकार जो है वो आखिर में ये देखना चाहता है कि उसकी जो कला है उसको लोग कितना अप्रिशिएट करते हैं। सो आई थिंक वी ऑल लिव फॉर दैट।
Now, for the last question, I'll give that to Rajesh ji, but we all have a one-on-one as well. तो घबराएं ना, आपके और सवाल हैं तो it can be addressed separately as well. Rajesh ji.
Pankaj ji, I grew up with your music.
थैंक यू
Changed us from Elvis and Beatles to Ghazal.
जी।
Unique, we were, after for more than 4 decades, you still maintain that voice quality. Do you follow a strict regime like Lata ji and Asha ji, that you don't take coke to maintain your voice?
Well, there are certain do's and don'ts for musicians, and I think one has to follow that like a proper regime, like proper discipline, because हमारे इस क्षेत्र में जो संगीत का क्षेत्र में है, ख़ास करके जो सिंगर्स हैं इंटरनेशनली और हिंदुस्तान में, जिसमें हम कहते हैं वॉइस अब्यूज़ इज़ वन ऑफ द वेल नोन फैक्ट, विच इज़ रियली सैड दैट देयर आर मेनी आर्टिस्ट्स who do a lot of voice abuse, and that does not help. So you have to follow a regime, and then obviously exercising, vocal cord exercising, that I think is the most important part.
चलिए जाते जाते अब वन ऑन वन होगा पंकज जी के साथ. एक्सट्रीमली प्रिविलेज टू हैव दैट. बट जाते जाते आई मीन आई थिंक आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन, बट आई वुड फर्स्ट लाइक टू आस्क एनीवन इफ दे हैव एनी क्वेश्चन फॉर आकाश, बिकॉज बोथ आकाश एंड अक्षय, दिस इज ए लेबर ऑफ लव मैं कहूँगा जो उन्होंने किया है, and a legacy that they're carrying forward, which is becoming an intergenerational legacy, hopefully. मगर इसलिए किसी के पास कोई सवाल है इनके लिए? अदरवाइज आई हैव वन. वरुण प्लीज.
थैंक यू कि आप सिडनी आए, एंड आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन फॉर आकाश. हाउ यू आर फीलिंग वर्किंग ऑन अ फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट, एंड इट्स अ बिग वन एंड विद द लेजेंड?
It's when I announced the concert, I was extremely nervous. As you know, I'm not a promoter by trade. I'm a lawyer, and I'm still nervous today. But it's nervous excitement, I guess. We are very fortunate that things have, fallen into place. Ticket sales were phenomenal. As you know, that we sold out at the Sydney Opera House 4 months before the event. That's never happened in history. So it is a labor of love, together with my brother. And it's for good reason, I think. And it is a platform that Pankaj Uncle deserves, I think. It's a platform that you've never performed, as you rightly said. Having performed at every iconic venue around the world, except for Sydney Opera House, which we will see on Sunday. So I'm extremely excited, and looking forward to it.
On the lighter note, I would like to tell Akash that I've prepared a list of venues across the world where I have not performed. So if you can look at it.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. रिश्ता आर्टिस्ट और प्रमोटर के साथ ऐसा ही होना चाहिए, अक्सर नहीं होता. एंड हम सब जो सिडनी में रहते हैं जानते हैं कि ये प्रमोशन का काम जो होता है ना, मौत के कुएं में खतरे से खेलने वाली बात होती है. तो इसलिए इन्होंने ये खतरा मोल लिया और आप लोगों का प्यार, सिडनी वालों का प्यार है जिसने इसे सोल्ड आउट किया. And it's a testimony to Pankajji's talent, his skill, his love, and how many people he can attract.
And if I can also say, Karthik, it's also the love of the media as well. I've got to thank each and every one of them, because if it wasn't for the media to help me promote this event, we wouldn't have achieved this. So, of course, the people who bought their tickets, but the media and the music lovers of Sydney, but not just Sydney. There's people coming from all over Australia, New Zealand, Fiji. So, I'm very, truly grateful and thankful.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for the promoters, Akshay and Akash, and of course, the artist Pankajji, who's graced us with his presence here. We'll take a short 5 minute so that we can set everything up, and then we'll start our one-on-ones. Thank you so much.